Hi Stitchy friends. This is FlossTube number 132 for Just Stitching in Strongsville, Ohio. My name is Shelly and I've just been staring at the camera for a couple minutes because every video feels like the first. So I look into the camera and I feel like I have no lips and my glasses always look crooked. I'm just, fussing with all the little hairs that are sticking up all around. And I just yelled at myself and I said, "You're never going to finish if you don't start." So let's start. I am going to start right now with the newest order that we got yesterday, Saturday. Came in the mail. It barely fit into my mailbox. Actually, it didn't. It was hanging out of my mailbox, but thank goodness it came probably right before I got here, so it wasn't in danger of falling out. And I guess none of my packages look interesting to anyone passing by. I don't think anyone would ever steal a package out of the Needlework Shop's mailbox, except another stitcher. But they wouldn't steal, so there you go. There's no issue. So this was my fabric order from Needlework Expo from Needle Bling Designs. And one color that I chose was Creme de Menthe because it was their new market color. And I think it's really pretty. I had an order for 32 count, so that is the only count I got it in. And it matches up with DMC 3816, and it's $116 a yard. So you could figure out how much it would be for whatever standard size you thought you might want. The next color is Pumpkin Pie, which I got in 3 counts. Let's see, I'm gonna start with the 28, yes. And the color is pretty good here. We have daylight bulbs in our lights over our stitching table here. So it's a pretty good color, but to me, this doesn't look quite as pumpkin-y as it does in real life. So I matched that up to 38.27. Now, I also got it in 14 Ada. Ooh, you know what? That's better. But this is still lighter than the linen. So this looks more like 38.56 if you want to go check your DMC stash. And I thought there was a real need for this color. So that's why I got it in a couple different counts. And then I got 36 because I just don't have a whole lot of interesting colors in 36 right now. Then most of what I got was Shrekie's Tan. And I actually meant to look up the story behind the name, but I think it's their dog. I think it's Teresa and Brian's dog, whose name is Shrekie. I did go on their Facebook page to try to look up some things, and I got distracted, and I forgot to check that out. I had pulled a couple of their charts to show you, and I don't know where they are now. Their new Christmas Toyland, I think is what it's called, uses the Creme de Menthe. That was one of their new charts at market. And then they have a number of their patterns on these other 2 colors. They have more colors than this. I just chose these 3 for my first order. So I got it in 14 and 16 and a bunch of linens. And they look pretty much the same. I'm going to say 738 might be considered the base color, but like all of the neutrals that are coming from every company right now, there's like a greenish kind of tone running through it, like a greenish gray tone. And since I had never seen it in person, I don't know whether that's intentional or if all the dyers are just having issue with a certain dye color that might have changed in the past couple years. Anyway, this is the 16. A little bit prettier in person. It's washing it out just a little bit on camera. And then I got it in 28 and 32. And 36. And the higher count linens, the 32 and higher, are 116 a yard. The 28 and 32, no, just the 28 is 112. And then the Aida colors, the 14 is 84 a yard and the 16 is 74, because the 14 Aida is also milled in a wider piece of fabric. So that's why that one's more expensive, because the quarter yard would be a couple inches bigger on that count. So anyway, I'm always excited to bring you new fabric. I feel like we're really short on fabric right now. We don't have a whole lot on order. There are just some things that have been impossible to get, or whenever I go to the dyer's website for the ready to ship section, it's empty. So, and then since it's towards the end of the year, I'm probably not ordering as much as I did 6 months ago, because I'm looking to pay off the bills I have now, and it probably wouldn't come till after the first of the year anyway. So let's not get it in before we have to do inventory. So, okay, that takes care of the fabric. My vintage stitch is by Val Stuff. It's from 2004 and it's called Harvest Wishes. You may have seen it in one of my Thanksgiving home videos before, but I don't always have it out. So this was done on Aida. I don't think I used the same color it called for. It called for Antique Gold Country French from Witchelt, and I never really carried the whole line of that fabric. Well, I might have carried the Aida, but I didn't carry the whole line of the linen because it was very soft and loose, and my customers didn't care for it as much as others. This actually could be. It might be why I did it on Aida, because I liked the color, and so this could be, but I didn't look for my notes. I ran across this today, and I was going to show something else, and I'm like, oh, well, this is for fall, so I'll show this while it's still November. And there you can see the little detail on the straw coming out of his arms and his hat. It was done with Silken Colors, so I think his coat is a really pretty color. It's called Acorn Weeds. Acorn Weeds? No, I think it's Acorn Woods. I think that's a misprint on the chart. But I do think it's really cute. I love the woodsy frame we decided to put it in. And it's actually the free chart that I've been sending out this month with my mail orders. So if you got it, take a good look at this and see if you maybe want to stitch it now that you see it in color. Alrighty. Then I only have one whip to show you because I didn't make any more progress on my previous ones. I did start this, and you may have seen a picture on social media, but I got a little bit more done after that first showing. And I've been saying a version of this whole year. As a lot of you know, it's been a very challenging year for me personally and other things involving my whole family. And I had heard this a long time ago, and I don't remember where, if it was at a Bible study or at church or, I don't know, read it in a book. I can't remember where I heard it, and I'm not even sure if this was the exact saying, but I've been saying, if everybody put their troubles in a basket, like say they wrote them on a piece of paper or something, if they threw all of their troubles in a basket, at the end of the evening, you take your own back again. And I have felt that way this whole year. People have told me stories about their broken bones. They've told me stories about moving their parents. They've told me, you know, their family members with dementia or having to go into hospice, all kinds of things. Honestly, when it's all said and done, I'm like, it's okay, Lord. My elbow wasn't as bad as other people's injuries. We're very lucky to have our parents at ages 88 and 92. And, you know, we're gonna make it through all these hard times. And so I feel just like that saying, that I wouldn't trade my life or my problems with somebody else's. Well, maybe this didn't speak to me at the time it came out, but I discovered recently, I think I actually saw it on somebody's Facebook post, maybe in a group that I belong to, or it could have been on a FlossTube video. But I think somebody showed their finish or that they were working on it, and it's by Lori Markovic of La Di Da, and it's called All Our Troubles. Who knew it was already designed in cross stitch? So her saying's a little different. I think it's really pretty. The branch with the vine and the berries, and they're very prim colors. I've brightened them up a little bit, but it spoke to me, and I liked the saying. If you couldn't read it, it says, if all our troubles were hung on a line, you would take yours and I would take mine. So I ordered it for myself a while ago, and I guess I was telling somebody the story the other day, and I'm like, you know what? This needs to be my next start, because I've been saying this all year, and I would love to put 2022 on it for the finish. So here is my, let's see, I forgot my whiteboard, but the fabric is kind of dense, so I think you'll be okay, you won't see through it. It's by Fiber on a Whim, 32 count Lugana in the color Espresso. The way it shrinks when it's dyed makes it so nice and dense and tight that I think one strand is covering it pretty nicely. And I'm using silk, and so I always feel like the silk is a little plumper than the same strand of embroidery floss in cotton. So I think it's covering really well. So here's what I've done so far. I kind of started with some of the words. Let's see, I can't really tell. Yeah, okay, there, I think you can see the whole thing. I started with some of the words near the middle, and then I worked myself to either side. And I decided, since there was a lot of wording, that I wanted it in overdyed instead of a solid color. Her colors were all needlepoint ink silks, and I decided to use Classic Colorworks Belle Soie in Briar Patch, which is really pretty and has a lot of subtle shade variation in it. So I'm really liking the way that's working. And then I started, as many people do, and how we recommend, by doing a floss toss with the colors the designer calls for. And then if something doesn't speak to you, you know, remove it and put something else in that's maybe in the same tone and obviously looks good with the other colors. So I did change the greens and maybe one other color. But anyway, I'm liking the way that's going, and it's stitching up pretty quickly. I think that's all I wanted to say about that. Oh, I'm changing the spacing a little bit. I thought the ampersand was too close to the I, so I moved that over. The A, for some reason, is really tiny. I put an extra stitch in all the A's. And then some of the letters have an extra little hook at the top. I don't know, when I first read it, I thought some of the words, sorry to the designer, but I thought some of the words were a little hard to read. So I'm just removing some of the extra stitches at the top of some of the smaller letters. I did do some of it in hand, but I'm really finding that I like the hand-dyed Lugana in a Q-snap, because it just helps you find the hole a little bit better on something that's so tight. Okay, I almost forgot to tell you that I was trying to figure out maybe what the real saying was that I was trying to think of, and when I Googled it, the same thing came up 100 billion times, only slight exaggeration. And it's actually no surprise to me that it's by Regina Brett, who is an inspirational speaker and newspaper columnist here in Cleveland. So maybe I heard it from her, or maybe somebody else heard it from her and worked it into a sermon or a Bible study or something. So her saying is, if we all threw our problems in a pile and saw everyone else's, we'd grab ours back. So I almost forgot to tell you that, and that was the most important part of the whole story. Next, let's do the winner from last week. And she's gonna get Cozy Christmas Cottage from Thread Milk Design, because that's the one she chose out of the ones I showed. And at first I thought her name was Linda S. Post, because the YouTube handle is Linda S. Post 2533. but when I clicked on the icon, it showed her name. So I think it's Linda Spost. So I already commented on her comment, so she might already know this, but Linda, email me your mailing address and I'll get this out to you. Alrighty, and then the giveaway for this time is going to be, I did this once before, but I think it was back in 2019. I'm gonna do, and it was Weeks Dye Works fibers, but this time I chose 5 classic color works that had kind of Thanksgiving-y names. So it's going to be Autumn Spice, Candied Yams, Perfect Pie Crust, Pumpkin Harvest, and Sweet Potato. And all you have to do is tell me your favorite part of Thanksgiving dinner, like food-wise. I'm not going to say because I like it all. It's my favorite meal in the entire world, in the entire year. I love Thanksgiving. I love everything. And we always have to have all the sides. So just tell me what your favorite dish is. And then I'm going to end with all the new charts that have been piling up. And you've probably already seen them elsewhere, but I'm going to show you anyway. Let's see if I can do this. I don't know what I'm going to do with them when I'm done showing them. Okay. Artful Offerings has With a Grateful Heart. I guess I'm going to set them down here and hope they don't all slide off on the floor. Waiting for Santa by Country Cottage Needleworks. I'm trying to show it so you can see the prices because I know sometimes I forget to say it. Isn't that cute? And then I'm kind of behind on the Year in the Woods. I don't think I ever showed you the beaver. And then number 12 is the reindeer. And then they had a new one called Christmas Star. Cuore, I betta cuore. Halloween Angels. Homespun Elegance, Believe in Me is the ornament that she does for her grandson Avery every year. That's $8.50. Oops, upside down. Spooky Meowie is $8. Oh, I miss showing you all these Heinz at Once Before Halloween. This is Halloween Duo. Comes with the spider charm. Nevermore comes with the actual little crow punched little tin piece, and that's $18. This is just called Prim Thanksgiving, and it comes with a little, is that a, no, it's a, I started to say turkey, but it's a cornucopia. It's So Emma Stitch Card Set N has come out, and that's $10. Jardin Privé, Halloween at the Gnomes. Quaker Summer and Quaker Autumn. Noel in Blue by Leela Studio and Noel in Red. Little House Needleworks, Alice's Winter Wonderland and Autumn Petites. These are all $9.50. Thanksgiving Petites, Winter Petites, and Snowy Petites. Snowy Petites is the next one coming. Number 9 was the last one in Fall on the Farm. Madame Chantilly, Christmas Cake Pops, Christmas Stamps, Halloween Cake Pops, Halloween Tree, I love that. Say Boo, Sweet Christmas, Winter Garland, New York Dreamer, Dear Santa Define Good, Santa Stop Here, Pineberry Lane. These are both 12 Little Fancies in her Fancy Blacket series. And Mrs. McGuire, Almost Halloween. This is an auto that came this week from Primrose Cottage, Snowman Kisses. Marion Bright, that one's 6. Snowman Kisses was 8. And then one of their medium-sized leaflets, Christmas Alphabet, this is 9. That's a really pretty finish. Now, Scattered Seed Samplers, Pray for Peace. 3 Jacks and a Cat by Stitches from Ethel. And then some Hoop-de-Doos from Sue Hillis. These are all 8. You can read what it says, right? Santa's Cookies. I'm gonna have to do all the Santa's Cookies things. Snow, Bring It On. Those snowman heads would be really cute as little ornaments too. Sweet Baby. Sweet Wing, I can't talk today. Sweet Wing Studio, Filled with Joy. This was one that came out after Expo. 1, 2, 3 pumpkins. And strawberry ornament. From Val's Stuff, this is a kit with perforated paper, 3 little boos, and it comes with all the backing and the little pin back that you need. Another one, If You've Got It, Haunt It, and that's what comes with it. Christmas Littles is the newest one from Waxing Moon in that series, where you get 6 little designs for your tree. All right, then these are larger charts. Barbara Anna, Dancer. And you know, I forgot to check, but isn't this the one I missed getting last winter because I sold my copy of the Prim Stitcher magazine? Now I can have it. I love this. I just love this. I probably would leave it up all year. I see deer all year. I see deer like almost every time I'm driving anywhere around here. And Deer Dreams. Holy Night. I love that one too, because I love the reindeer. She Mad Hatter Dreams. All right, then from Calico Confectionery, Gather Ye Pumpkins. And Hallows Night. Cherry Hill Stitchery. Bumble Honey Co. I think these are all 9. Yep. Sweaters, Please. No. Yes, that's what it's called. I'm trying to read things backwards. Toes in the Water. A little late for that one, but I got it in the last order that I placed with the distributor, so. Sweater Weather. And then from Dear Suki, Christmas Advent. You could do so many things with those little designs. And if you wanted to do them as ornaments, you could just leave off the numbers if you weren't doing it as an Advent calendar. Happiness is Heart Made has 2 that are based on early 20th century Italian needlework charts. This is Antique Reindeer in the Forest, a monochromatic design, and then she added some color to it and called it Christmas Reindeer in the Forest. I can't decide which one I like better. Probably if I did the one color one, I could leave it out longer. And then the Typeface series from It's So Emma. Oh, somehow that got out of order. Santa Face. I think that's really clever. There's a Rudolph one too. It hasn't come yet. Excited to see what else they have in that series. From Needlework Press, the 2023 Book of Days. Shannon Christine, Autumn Stamp Collection, Old Fashioned, and I think this one's by her daughter. I think it's her daughter, her sister. Now I can't remember the story. Pumpkin to My Spice. Whoever it is, I think they do the artwork, and then she puts it into cross stitch for them. Tiny Modernist, the last part of the Halloween crystal ball. And then she has Spooky Halloween Bell Pull. And part 3 of the Christmas Snow Globe. Twin Peak Primitives, Autumn Smalls. I like the European designs for fall and winter, and what else? Always have a lot of blue in them, which I think is really pretty. Of course, half my house is blue, so that's why I like them. And this is their ornament book for this year. They actually have quite a few booklets like this with multiple designs in them. They have a patriotic one and a Halloween one. And this is 30. And then 2 stray Halloween ones that I never showed. Halloween Gathering. I love that. I may have to stitch that one. And Halloween Moon Sampler is 16. I know I forgot to say a lot of the prices, but I'm not going to go back and fix that. You can probably look it up someplace else or just ask me in the comments. I think that was everything that I intended on talking about. I hope it is. I just really wanted to thank everyone for all your kind comments, that you're praying for me and my mother and our whole family. And what I didn't specifically say in last week's video is that we had already called in hospice. It was a requirement because of a medical situation that she had when she returned to her facility, because they're not considered skilled. So they took her back, but we had to call in hospice to deal with this one specific issue. So I wasn't sure I could talk about it last weekend. My mom has perked up a little bit since then. She has a hospital bed and a lift to help her get out, so that the aides and the nurses can help her get out of bed. She has a Broda chair, which is a really fancy wheelchair, which is kind of sad for us because she was using a walker and just walking up and down the halls all the time, and now she's not. So that's kind of sad. But she has perked up. She's awake and sitting up in a wheelchair when we go to visit her, if we visit her during the day. If we go at night, she's pretty much in bed at 6 o'clock. But I feel a little more optimistic, but still realistic about the situation. Anyway, that's that. I do appreciate it all, every single one of you, whether you tell me you're praying or not, whether you comment or not. The whole stitching community has been such a source of therapy for me this whole year. In fact, I've apologized to several people in the store for dumping on them when they asked me how I am. I said, I really should put a sign up on the front door that says, don't ask me how I am, because I will tell you. Anyway, thanks. And next weekend is Thanksgiving weekend, but you might see a video. We'll see how it goes. Alrighty, bye-bye. Have a great Thanksgiving.